Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Courtney Rich with Cake by Courtney, and today we're taking a trip down memory lane. This one is gonna be nostalgic for you. We're making copycat Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. Don't you love these? I feel like as a child, this was the best treat to get in my lunch, and usually mom would put it in my lunch for a field trip. Those were like when we got special treats, and the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie, was one of my favorites. So it's time to recreate this. And the goals here are to have a flavor that's super similar to the oatmeal cream pies that we're used to, and also have a good soft texture. So let's dive in, make these cookies. They're really quite simple. So we're gonna start with some melted butter, or just pretty softened butter here. And to that, we're gonna add our brown sugar. And I'm not even grabbing my mixer. I am just taking my whisk. You can use a spoon. Like, that's how easy these are to whip up. You do want to start with butter that is melted and then cooled down just a little bit so it's not piping hot. We've also got 1 egg that we're gonna put in here. Ooh, not the shell though. Don't do that. Ooh, whoops. Okay, and then also vanilla and a little molasses, all right? The molasses is just gonna give it that really good, like almost gingerbread flavor, but give us that similar flavor to the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie. Now, when I first made these, my teenage son, Weston, went nuts. He said these were even better than my Biscoff sandwich cookies. And he loved those. So the fact that he was like, these actually beat the Biscoff sandwich cookie blew me away. I was so excited. So I know you're gonna love these. Take a look at my batter right now. It's pretty soft, but that's exactly where we want it to be. In here, I just have a little bit of all-purpose flour. So let's add some salt to that, and then some baking soda and a little bit of cinnamon. We'll whisk those together just so it gets evenly distributed, and we break up any clumps of flour. And we're gonna pour that right into the wet ingredients and mix that together. You will notice this dough is a little sticky. Don't let that stress you out. It's meant to be, because we're gonna get a really soft, yummy cookie. Once the flour is incorporated, the next thing you're gonna add are your quick cooking oats. Now, when I was first testing out this recipe, I tried rolled oats and I didn't like them. The texture was too obvious. That's not what we want. When you bite into a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie, it's really soft. And I actually think the real recipe, if you were to look at the box of the Little Debbie's, doesn't even have oats in it. I hear it has raisins. We're not doing raisins. Let's put a little bit of oatmeal in here. You're gonna love it. But the quick cooking oats, I think, give the cookies a better texture, and they're not so big and obvious when you take a bite. And I love that about these cookies. Okay, so here is our dough. You'll see it's a little bit, one, it's delicious. Two, a little sticky, totally good. I've got my cookie sheet, and I just have a little bit of parchment paper. We like parchment paper for these. I actually had a reader write in and say they used the silicone mat, and it made the cookies flatten a ton, like spread out too much. She made them again with parchment paper, and she said they baked perfectly. So you just may want to note that. I think the parchment paper works great. We're gonna grab it's kind of a medium size cookie scoop. And these come out to be about 1.2 ounces of cookie dough that we're gonna put on our cookie sheet. And just use the cookie scoop, or you could grab your kitchen scale and weigh them out each. I like the cookie scoop, so we're gonna just get about 8 of these on our standard baking sheet. Ooh, they're gonna be so good. Now, these will come out and kind of look a little puffy, and they're not gonna look like the cookie right away, but as they cool, they darken and they flatten a little bit. So you get the oatmeal cream pie look. So just trust the process. All right, these are gonna go in the oven at 350 for about 8 minutes. While the cookies are baking, let's make the marshmallow buttercream that goes between the cookies. It's so delightful and yummy. We're gonna start with our butter. Not straight from the fridge, but it doesn't have to be room temperature. So unsalted always. We can add salt to it, but we don't want too much of a salted flavor, especially for the buttercream. So we've got that, and I'm just gonna measure out 4 ounces of the marshmallow puff, like the cream that you just buy from the grocery store. Then we'll mix these two up. This recipe is so simple. Then we just add some sifted powdered sugar. Look at that. Oh my goodness, this makes me think of fluffernutter sandwiches that my mom used to make. There we go. When we were a kid. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's the peanut butter, banana, and marshmallow. Or maybe some people only did marshmallow and peanut butter, but we threw in the banana. I actually have a cake that is a fluffernutter cake, and it is so yummy. And to this day, my kids will even ask for it. Probably not the healthiest thing, but you know what? It's so good. Why not? All right, we've got our marshmallow cream in there. Love it. Let's mix these two things up really quick. And while we're mixing, we're just gonna slowly add our powdered sugar in. And I always like to measure my powdered sugar and then I'll sift it just to get out any clumps. It makes it just a great, good, fine consistency. Easy to pipe and spread without too many air pockets. Get that going. And then also just a little bit of vanilla. Don't worry, it'll come together. It looks a little crumbly for a minute using the hand mixer, but there we go. You can see it starts to come together. Now we just want to mix it for a couple minutes. This will just lighten the texture and even the color, mixing it at a medium-high speed for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's check on the cookies. And if you feel like you need to fix the shape a little bit right when they come out, just grab a spatula, one that's a little bit rounded. You could even do this with a cup and put the entire cup around the cookie. But to get that really good, perfectly round shape, you can just clean up the edges just by tapping lightly on some areas that don't feel like they are totally round. So remember too, I said they're gonna look a little puffy right when they come out. They need to cool completely, and as they do, they're gonna flatten and give us that little Debbie look that we know and love. So let's give these a few minutes and then we'll frost them. All right, it's time to fill the oatmeal cream pies. I just have a disposable piping bag and I just wrap it just over my hand like this. Just cut a little hole, and I'm gonna spoon some of my marshmallow buttercream in here. And then I just fold that over. Okay. And then shake it down, press it down. And then I like to twist really tight at the top. And I'm gonna lock it with my thumb and apply pressure with my fingers here. So we have got 8 cookies on here, which means we'll get 4 sandwiches. So 4 of them I'm gonna split and turn over. And we're just gonna put some buttercream around the center. You can see that's kind of high. That's plenty of buttercream, because once I put my cookie on top of it and I just press down gently, look how the buttercream gets just nice and close to the edge. All right, let's just take a look at the inside here. Really soft. We're just gonna pull it apart. We don't want a crispy bottom to this cookie. That's not how Little Debbie does it. Nice and soft and chewy with our marshmallow buttercream. Sweet, just delicious. And so nostalgic. You are gonna love these. Oh my gosh. I can't wait for you to make these. The recipe is linked below. Enjoy. I'll see you next time.